For most of aviation history, air combat was about getting closer, faster, and higher than the enemy. The best fighter was the one that could outmaneuver, outclimb, or outrun everything else in the sky. But in 1991, something changed. During the Gulf War, coalition aircraft destroyed over 30 Iraqi jets. Not one coalition aircraft was lost in air-to-air combat. Not because of superior dogfighting, because they were never seen. The kills happened at range, beyond visual contact. The Iraqi pilots didn't know they were being hunted until missiles were already in the air. What mattered wasn't agility, it was awareness. Knowing where the enemy was before they knew where you were. Seeing first, deciding first, shooting first. This is the doctrine that governs modern air combat. It's called information dominance. And it means that the most dangerous aircraft is not the fastest or the most maneuverable. It's the one that knows more. The F-35 was built around this idea, but not in the way most people assume. Most fighter jets carry sensors, radar, infrared cameras, electronic warfare systems. These are separate systems. Each one feeds information to the pilot independently. The pilot has to interpret each feed, cross-reference it, build a mental picture of the battlefield from fragments. The F-35 doesn't work that way. Every sensor on the aircraft, radar, infrared cameras, electronic warfare receivers, data links to other aircraft, satellites, ground stations, feeds into a single system. That system is called the sensor fusion engine. It doesn't just collect data, it synthesizes it, combines it, analyzes it, and presents the pilot with one unified picture of the entire battle space. Not 6 different screens showing 6 different things. One display, one coherent image of everything the aircraft and its network can detect. This is not a radar upgrade, it's a cognitive shift. The pilot is no longer interpreting raw sensor data. They're interpreting a machine-generated understanding of reality. And that changes everything. Here's what this means in practice. An F-35 detects an enemy aircraft at long range. Its radar picks up a faint return. Normally, that's just noise, could be anything. The pilot would have to investigate, get closer, confirm the target. But the fusion system cross-references that radar return with infrared data from the aircraft's distributed aperture system, cameras embedded around the fuselage that see in all directions all the time. Then it checks signal intelligence from the electronic warfare suite. It correlates position data from other F-35s in the area, from Navy ships offshore, from AWACS aircraft monitoring the theater. In less than a second, the system combines all of that information and presents the pilot with a single confirmed track. Not a radar blip, a target, with identity, bearing, speed, altitude, threat level. The pilot doesn't have to think about how the system knows, they just know, and they can act. But it goes further than that. Because every F-35 in the area is sharing its sensor data, the network becomes exponentially more powerful. An enemy aircraft hiding in the radar shadow of a mountain might be invisible to one F-35, but another F-35, 50 miles away at a different angle, can see it. The fusion system connects them. Both pilots see the same target. Both can engage. This is distributed sensing. The aircraft doesn't fight alone. It fights as part of a constellation. And the enemy has no idea how many sensors are watching. This is why pilots describe the F-35 not as a fighter, but as a sensor platform that happens to carry weapons. Because the weapons are secondary. The real advantage is knowing where to point them. But there's a problem. The system requires trust. Pilots are trained to verify everything, to cross-check instruments, to trust what they can see with their own eyes. The F-35 asks them to do the opposite, to trust a computer, to engage targets they can't independently confirm, to rely on sensor fusion outputs they don't fully understand. For many early pilots, this was uncomfortable. One F-35 instructor described it as flying blind while being told you can see everything. The cognitive dissonance was real. The aircraft was presenting information the pilot couldn't verify. Tracks that didn't appear on their radar, targets beyond visual range, threats the system claimed were real, but the pilot had no way to confirm. And at first, the system made mistakes. Phantom tracks, false positives, targets that appeared and disappeared. Early versions of the fusion software were unstable. They would crash mid-flight, forcing pilots to reboot the system while airborne. There were integration issues. The system struggled to distinguish friendly aircraft from hostile ones. It would classify Allied jets as threats, or worse, ignore actual threats because the data didn't correlate cleanly. This created a trust problem. Pilots didn't know when to believe the machine. They started developing workarounds, manual checks, redundant procedures. They treated the fusion system as advisory, not authoritative, which defeated the entire point. The F-35 was designed to reduce cognitive load, to let the pilot focus on decision-making rather than data interpretation. But if pilots didn't trust the system, they ended up doing both, interpreting the fusion display and manually checking the raw feeds. Double the workload. The aircraft was supposed to make combat easier. Instead, it made it harder. And for years, this was the reputation. Sensor fusion was ambitious, revolutionary in theory, unreliable in practice. The engineers hadn't anticipated how difficult it would be to merge different types of data in real time. Radar data updates at one rate, infrared at another. Data links from other aircraft arrive intermittently. Electronic warfare signals are sporadic and inconsistent. The fusion algorithm had to reconcile all of that, decide which data to trust, which to discard, how to weight conflicting inputs. And it had to do it instantly, because in combat, a 2-second delay is the difference between detecting a threat and being hit by one. The early software couldn't keep up. It would freeze, lock up, display outdated information, or simply crash. There were also tactical problems. In exercises, adversary aircraft would exploit the fusion system's weaknesses. They'd fly in formations designed to confuse the correlation algorithms. They'd use electronic jamming to create false tracks. They'd stay at ranges where the fusion system couldn't distinguish them from background clutter. And they'd win. The F-35 was supposed to dominate. Instead, it was being outfought by older, cheaper aircraft flown by pilots who understood its limitations. This was the crisis period, roughly 2015 to 2018, when critics argued that sensor fusion was a failed concept, that the F-35 had been designed around a system that didn't work. But quietly, something was changed. The software improved. Not overnight, not in one dramatic update, but incrementally, block by block. The fusion algorithms became faster, more stable, better at filtering noise. The false positive rate dropped. The system learned to distinguish real targets from clutter, to maintain track continuity even when sensors disagreed. And pilots started to trust it. This happened gradually, in training exercises, in operational deployments. Pilots would check the fusion display against raw sensor feeds and find that the system was right, consistently
Financial data confirmed.
Targets that looked ambiguous on radar were clearly identified by the fusion engine. Threats the pilot hadn't noticed were already tracked and classified. The machine was seeing things they couldn't see. And not just seeing, understanding.
The fusion display is now
By
primary.
2019, the culture had shifted. Pilots stopped treating sensor fusion as a supplement. They started treating it as the primary tool. One pilot described it as a revelation. You stop flying the jet and start flying the battle space. Because the fusion system doesn't just show you what's around your aircraft. It shows you everything the network can detect. Hundreds of miles in every direction. You're not piloting a fighter. You're commanding a node in a distributed sensor grid. And that grid is always watching. This is when the F-35's combat reputation changed. Not because the aircraft got faster or more maneuverable, because the sensor fusion system became reliable enough to trust. And once pilots trusted it, they realized something. They had an advantage no other aircraft could match. The F-35's weapons are not exceptional. Its missiles are standard. Its gun is adequate. Its stealth is good, but not perfect. What makes it dangerous is decision time. In air combat, the first decision usually determines the outcome. The first pilot to detect, identify, and engage has an overwhelming advantage. The F-35 compresses that timeline to almost nothing. An enemy pilot is still processing radar returns when the F-35 has already identified, targeted, and fired. The engagement is over before the enemy knows it's begun. This isn't about superior reflexes, it's about superior awareness. The sensor fusion system eliminates the cognitive steps that used to define air combat. The F-35 pilot doesn't scan, doesn't interpret, doesn't cross-reference. The system does that. Instantly, continuously, perfectly. The pilot just decides. And this creates a tactical asymmetry that's almost impossible to counter. You can build faster jets, you can develop better missiles, you can train pilots to be more aggressive. But you can't outthink a network that sees everything, processes it instantly, and delivers perfect situational awareness to every pilot in the fight. This is why air forces that have faced the F-35 in exercises describe it as fighting blind. They're not facing an aircraft, they're facing an information system that happens to have weapons attached. And they lose, consistently, decisively. Not because the F-35 is invincible, but because they never see it coming. If you want to understand how this kind of sensor technology is reshaping military strategy beyond just fighters, how it's changing naval warfare, missile defense, even ground operations, there's a follow-up video on integrated combat systems linked below.
but the core principle is the same. Information wins wars.
There's a broader question here. What happens when the sensor network becomes more important than the pilot? Right now, the F-35 is a compromise. A human makes the final decision. But the human is increasingly reliant on machine interpretation of the battlefield. The pilot sees what the system shows them, targets what the system identifies, engages based on machine-generated recommendations.
Steady climb,
They're
no
still in
issues.
control,
Confirmed. Holding.
but the machine is doing most of the cognitive work. And that raises an uncomfortable reality. The next generation of air combat may not need pilots at all. Not because drones are cheaper, but because human reaction time is becoming the limiting factor. A pilot takes time to process information, to make decisions, to execute commands. A machine doesn't. The F-35's sensor fusion system already proves this. It processes data faster than any human can. It identifies threats, correlates intelligence, presents options in milliseconds. The only reason there's still a pilot in the cockpit is because we're not yet comfortable letting the machine pull the trigger. But that's changing. The F-35 isn't the end of this evolution. It's the beginning. The real revolution isn't stealth. It's not speed. It's the fusion of sensors into a single, omniscient network. One that
No blind
sees
spots,
everything,
no uncertainty.
understands everything, and makes decisions
now.
faster
Decision
than human
executed in
thought.
time.
What too fast?
And once that network no longer needs a human to validate its choices, air combat will never be the same. The question isn't whether that future is coming. It's whether we're ready for it.